Hello YouTube world, my name is Lauren and welcome back to my channel. So if you're an avid contemporary romance reader like I am, you know that there are a lot of romance books out there centered around some of the big Western holidays like Halloween and Christmas. But what about some of the smaller holidays like St. Patrick's Day and 4th of July, and what about non-Western holidays like Lunar New Year? So this year, Lunar New Year is February 10th, and for this past week, I tried to read only Lunar New Year romance books, and the results were interesting. First off, when you search for Lunar New Year book recommendation videos on YouTube, only children's books come up, which is great and all for spreading cultural awareness in elementary schools, but that should not stop at like the age of 10. So without further ado, here are the 4 Lunar New Year romance books I read in the past week, limited by what I could find in the New York Public Library and Queens Public Library ebook system. First up is Ringing in the Lunar New Year by Isla Chiu. This is a short story published in 2019, and it's only 4 chapters, so it's a really fast read, but let me tell you that this book is definitely not for children. This story is about a Chinese girl named Simone Chang and her childhood best friend, a Japanese boy named Will Higa. They are in college, and Simone is feeling a little homesick with Lunar New Year coming up, and Will offers to celebrate the holiday with her. So the book started out decent, like the first chapter is very typical college situation, but then chapters 2 through 4 quickly descended into basically smut. And not just any smut, but like Wattpad level smut. I'm talking like cringy actions and dialogue and just like super unrealistic situations. There's not too much else to say about this book other than that the story is obviously friends to lovers and it is an open door romance. Overall, I gave the book 1.5 stars out of 5 and a spiciness level of 6 out of 10. So, not off to a great start. But this second book renewed my faith in Lunar New Year romances. Lunar New Year Love Story by Luen Yang and LeUyen Pham is a graphic novel published very recently in January 2024. The story follows a Vietnamese high school girl named Valentina Tran, who has been raised by a single father. She used to believe in true love, but after learning some devastating news, her beliefs are shaken and she starts being haunted by the spirit of Saint Valentine, who tells her that she and her family are cursed to always be unlucky in love. That is, until she meets these 2 boys at a lion dancing performance. Jae Liu, a shy Chinese Korean who goes to school with Valentina, and Jay's rich cousin, Leslie Liu. Valentina starts dating Leslie and decides to take up lion dancing as well, learning more about herself and the meaning of true love. Now, this book is not at all what I expected, but in a good way. I thought it was very funny and creative, and for the first 2/3 of the book, I thought it was a very unique story. I liked how it didn't focus on the stereotypical Asian themes of like fitting into America, but rather dealt with topics that anyone could relate to, meaning like learning secrets your parents have been hiding from you and figuring out what love means. But I did think the ending got a little corny for me, and I had bigger hopes for the ghost's role in the story. But overall, I gave this book 4.5 stars and a 1 spiciness, just for some chaste kissing. The third book I read last week was A Fake Girlfriend for Chinese New Year by Jackie Lau. This is the 3rd book in a holiday romance novella quartet called Holidays with the Wongs, and it was published in 2020. I have not read the first two books, which are stories set around Thanksgiving and Christmas, but I may read them later this year if I continue this series of holiday book reviews. But anyway, A Fake Girlfriend for Chinese New Year is about a Chinese guy named Zach Wong and his friend Joe McGregor. They don't say what race or ethnicity Joe is, but it's implied that she's non-Asian. So after a broken engagement, Zach is afraid his family will try to set him up with somebody for the upcoming Chinese New Year. So he asks his good friend Joe to be his fake girlfriend. She happens to also have had a relatively recent broken engagement and has secretly been crushing on Zach for a few years now. So a lot of tropes for this book: fake dating, friends to lovers, and a small town romance. And it was a very cute book, but everything moved really fast. Like, the first sort of steamy scene had basically zero build up to the romance. It just went from like a level 2 scene to like 8 really fast. Although it is a novella and only 12 chapters, so I guess things have to move quickly to move the story along. But overall, I gave the book 2.5 stars and a 7 spiciness level. Okay, so on to the last book I read for my Lunar New Year Romance Reads Week. Lunar Love by Lauren Kung Jessen is a contemporary romance book published in 2023. It is about a woman named Olivia Huang Christensen, who is Chinese, Scottish, Norwegian, and she is taking over her family's matchmaking business, where they match you with people based on the compatibility of your Chinese zodiac signs. However, just as she takes over the business, a new dating app enters the market called Zodiac Cupid, who she thinks essentially stole her family's business. The founder of the app is a Chinese-Irish man named Bennett O'Brien, who just happens to be the guy that Olivia has a meet cute with at a local Chinese bakery. So it has been a while, and by a while, I guess I mean like maybe 4 or 5 months, since I've read a book that has entertained me this much. It is enemies to lovers, he falls first, and a bit of fake dating at the beginning. But even though it's enemies to lovers, I feel like Olivia and Bennett are so cute together that it almost feels like friends to lovers. The plot twists kept me on the edge of my seat, and it just felt like a refreshing take on a classic trope. For me, this book is a 5-star read, but I do want to say that that doesn't mean that this book is perfect. If I was being objective, I'd realistically maybe give it like a 4.5 because there are some annoying parts, but I could probably get into that in like a different video. But I do still say it's a 5-star read for me because it's the kind of book that either made me feel something or think about something, and it's a book that I would reread over and over again. And on a spiciness level, I gave it a 2, just for some like heavy makeout scenes. So these were the 4 books I read this past week, and honestly the only 4 books I could find when I searched for Lunar New Year romance books. It's funny how it just so happened to be a variety of types of books, like 1 short story, 1 graphic novel, 1 novella, and 1 contemporary novel, and featured a variety of East Asian ethnicities. Like, I swear I didn't plan that out. But despite the vast range of ratings I gave these books, I was very happy with these 4 reads because it shows how much Asian authors have grown in the publishing industry. It used to be that the only books by Asian authors were like historical fictions or these books that only talked about the immigrant experience. And now there are more and more contemporary romances with Asian main characters that are as fun to read as any other romance novel out there. But I still feel like there's a lot of room to grow. So let me know if you've read any Lunar New Year romance books that I should give a read next year, and let me know what other holidays I should do book reviews for. Valentine's Day is a given, obviously, but maybe St. Patrick's Day after that? Also, let me know what you thought of this style of video. I'm trying out something new to see if I like it. But as always, you can feel free to follow me on my other social media channels linked in the description below. And if you liked this video, I'd appreciate it so much if you could like and subscribe, and stay tuned for my future book recommendation videos. Alright, bye!